What's going on, guys? This is KNasty3890 here with another MLB 15 The Show video. It's going to be a little different today, guys. I'm going to talk about how I play MLB differently than a lot of people play. And I find it very successful for me. I haven't really seen anyone else try my strategy. My strategy, for one, seems to work. My rating's a 1676. That's a relatively high rating. Compared to what most people play at. Most people are in the 1500s, maybe low 1600s, excuse me. I have seen some 1700s out there, so there are some really high up players. But it's worked really well for me. It's relatively cheap. You don't have to spend a lot of stubs to make this squad or the type of squad that I have. But we're going to kind of go over it in a little bit of detail. So first, let's just jump into my squad. And you're going to notice right off the bat, I do not invest in starting pitching. You can see, I mean, Pineda is an 85, but I think he started off the year as a bronze. And I think I just use him there so it looks nice on the screen that I have a gold at my starter. I've used him once. It was my last game I played, so I do remember using him. He gave up like a three-run home run in the 5th inning. Kind of hurt his ERA. He was actually pitching halfway decent. But most of these guys, I mean, Cologne's only used once. AJ Griffin, if you notice, if they have their starts, I don't think they do. I mean, my starters go on an average of like maybe 3 innings a start. I really don't like going deep on my starters. That is kind of where I differentiate than most people. Starters are expensive, like high-end starters. If you want to get like a John Lester, a Cole Hamels, a King Felix, Clayton Kershaw, they're expensive. You know what's cheap? It's a bullpen. Even the great relievers are relatively cheap. Now, I don't have any great relievers because for these guys right here, and I'll show you my stats of these players, they work great for me. But this is where I've kind of built my team. I built my team in 2 areas that are cheap. Bench, bullpen. 2 things you gotta look at. Your lineup's also very important too, because you can pitch with a relatively average pitcher, and if you know what you're doing, you can succeed in that. Hitting, you can have a great approach at the plate, but if you need to hit that home run, you do need that power. I mean, you may sit on that fastball, but because that guy's contact's in the 60s, you're not going to hit it hard. So you do need some talent at hitting. So I have invested in it. I have a Bryce Harper, Hanley Ramirez, Harlem Killebrew, my guy's a 99. That Carpenter, by the way, guys, is insanely just. I mean, look at that. The 406. I think he had a 5-for-5 game last game I played. Like, he's ridiculously good. I would highly recommend picking him up at second base. I know everyone and their mother has D. Gordon, but for the price and Matt Carpenter, I don't know. I just like his contact tool really well. Hit a little bit more pop than D. Gordon. It's not saying a lot. It's in the 50s. Now, he doesn't have the speed, but I'm not a big stolen base guy. Anyway, we're going to go back to what I was talking about before, a bullpen. So I have found guys that have pitches that work well for me. For instance, I like guys with a sinker. I like guys with a cutter, and I like guys with either with a really good curve or a changeup, and I like splitters. All these pitchers have that. That's what I wanted. For instance, Brandon League is usually the first guy I go to in the game. I mean, he's pitched 46 innings out of relief. He's usually 2 a game. Usually I make sure he comes in, pitches 2 innings. He never hits either, so I make sure when he comes in, he can get 2 innings. And they normally shut down innings. I mean, his ERA is a little high, so he has had a couple really bad starts, but his whip of .84, that's really good. That's really good. And he strikes out about 1 every 9 innings. I mean, 1 every inning. So that's not bad at all. Soria, I recently picked him up because he got the upgrade. His curveball is about a 20-mile-per-hour difference than everything else. It's an upper 60s curveball, and he throws about like a 92, 93-mile-per-hour fastball. Really big difference. Save that curveball for like a 2-strike count. Like your first bat, so you go fastball, you go cutter. Maybe throw like a high fastball to kind of make them think you're trying to throw hard. They don't know you got a 68-mile-per-hour curveball in your back pocket. You drop that in there, they're going to look ugly at that at bat. It's very easy. Zach Brent for me is my lefty. He's my go-to lefty. I mean, look at that. I mean, 18 2/3 innings, ERA .96. This is what I do. I just go to my bullpen. I know if you got Rizzo, you got Bryce Harper, you got lefties like that, you're gonna see Zach Britton in that game. No doubt in my mind, you will see Zach Britton, and you'll get his wipeout slider and his 95-mile-per-hour fastball. A lot of people like Andrew Miller. Budget version of Andrew Miller is Zach Britton. Doesn't have the same deception on his delivery. Still very effective in the stats show. Darren O'Day, to talk about deceptive. You guys know him. I've talked about him before in my videos. Great slider. Really, really great slider. and he goes submarine. As you can tell, if you look at my splits on the right-hand side of the screen, the middle line on the right side of the screen, it has his batting average versus right-handed hitters, which is a 152, which is incredible. Great, that is knockout. Versus left-handed hitters, a 276 average, which is pretty bad. The reason is because the slider comes in on lefties, and if you're not able to get that where you want, it gets hit a long way. He doesn't throw hard, those maybe 86, 87 miles per hour. He can get hit really hard against lefties. Try to keep him only against righties. Usually he goes against lefties if it's like 2 or 3 righties, a left-handed hitter, then a couple more right-handed hitters after that, and I'll take my chance of that one left-handed hitter. Only time I really use him against left-handed hitters. Drew Storen, I've just recently picked him up. He's pitched 6 in the 3rd innings, hasn't given up a run yet. Whip of .32. He's one of the guys who's got it. I think he has a cutter. No, he's a sinker and he has a good slider. That's why I like him. The sinker and the slider. They complement each other really well. Glen Perkins. You guys know Glen Perkins. Closer for the Twins. Very similar to Zach Britton. Basically a 2-pitch pitcher, a fastball slider. He's got the 2-seamer as well. I only use him because I did the Minnesota collection and I can't get rid of him. And, I mean, his ERA is not astounding. It's 1.86. That's not bad. I'm not going to complain. Whip is really good. Left-handers have hit him hard, which I find surprising because he's a left-handed who throws that slider. I think that could just be a small sample. But he's not insanely good. I don't love him. If I could sell him, I would. And then my closer is 77 overall, Neftali Feliz. Strikes everybody out. That's what he does. 24 innings, 32 strikeouts. That's incredible. Really like him. It's that he has 3 pitches that I love. The fastball's great. It's a 97, 98 mile per hour fastball. Excellent. It's wipeout slider and a changeup that just drops off the table. I love all 3 pitches that he throws. But yeah, that's what I do. I know there's other relievers that you can go over, and I'm not saying these guys are the 5, 6, 7 guys you want. Actually, I do want to try out Carter Smith. I heard he's halfway decent. Casey Janssen, I tried him. I didn't really love him. As you can see, I gave him 6 innings. Trying to think of anyone else who I have. I don't think anyone else I've really tried. I wanted to try Wilhelmsen because he does throw gas. And he has a cutter, and I do love cutters. And if his curveball's halfway decent, he's going to be good. Jabba, I have not used Jabba. No, I have used him. I take that back. I used him for a 1/3 of an inning, and he got kind of shelled. But he's really budget, a guy that has the fastball, a good fastball to wipe out curve. But that's kind of what I look for, guys, in my relievers. And I want to build a strong bullpen. It's cheap. And then the next thing is a bench. And every person on my bench serves a purpose. Don't just put in the highest overall guy. You can be like, for instance, I have Todd Frazier on my team. Well, I could probably sub in if I wanted to. But, I mean, I'd probably sub in for Dozier. But I do just like Dozier because for some reason he hits well for me. But I could easily put in Todd Frazier. I might actually, I don't know. Nah. Now, because Alvarez plays the same position, so I'm gonna leave Todd Frazier on my bench, even though he's an 87 overall with 90 power versus left. Mark Trumbo's got 92 power versus left-handers, 77 versus right-handed. Not as good as a contact tool as Todd Frazier, or relatively similar actually. So I'm not surprised by that. But Trumbo gets the job done for me. David Ross, I've talked about him in a video before. Just a backup catcher. I mean, you need to have a catcher just in case. You pinch hit for yours, or pinch run, you need a catcher, and he's got some pop. He's got 76 power versus lefty, 62 power versus righty. I could put Joe Mauer in for more of a contact guy, but I like to have pop on my bench. But that might change. I don't think I've used David Ross. I have a couple times, 6 at-bats. I haven't used him in a while. He's hit well for me. Like, look at his stats. I know it's really small, 6 at-bats, he's got 3 hits. Jared Dyson, haven't swung the bat with him yet. He is my pinch runner. 99 speed, 99 stealing, 99 base runner of aggressiveness, which doesn't matter. And he's a really good fielder, 84 fielding, 92 reaction. And with that speed, he's going to get a great jump on the ball. You can use him in all 3 outfielder positions. He's a 73 overall, so he is cheap with legit speed. Talked about Brian Dozier before. Like I said, he hits really well, and he played well for me. He made a couple errors, even though they don't show it on the stats. He made a couple errors in the game. Pissed me off. I put in Matt Carpenter. I haven't looked back. So he's a good guy on the bench. You can play second and short. So that's really, I like that versatility. Good power versus lefties. Good contact versus lefties. Solid against righties. Gets the job done. Really good bench guy. I can do some double switches with Matt Carpenter and him. The last guy, I purposely skipped over him because he's incredible. Incredible. Pick up Pedro Alvarez. I do not know why. Because against lefties, he's god-awful. Like, don't use him against a lefty unless you have to, which I still wouldn't. Versus righties at 87 power, which isn't, like, the best. But for some reason, I mean, look at my stats with him. I don't understand. Just, I guess some people's stances work well for certain people, and his stance just works well for me. I mean, as you can see, 35 at-bats, he's hitting 514. 6 home runs. He's actually hitting 1,000 versus left-handers. It's probably 1 for 1. But that is my go-to guy. When I need a home run, I need an extra base hit against the right-handed pitcher, excuse me. Pedro Alvarez is the guy. So there's my bench. I mean, you guys can do what you want with yours. I'd like to have, like I said, I like to have one guy who's just a pure base runner, guy who can hit for power versus lefties, Mark Trumbo, power versus righties, Alvarez, backup catcher, get a solid one. Like, I could use Joe Mauer. I mean, I think I still have Carlos Santana. I could use him, but David Ross just has the pop, which I like. And then a guy who can kind of do a multitude of positions he can hit, and that's Brian Dozier. So those are the guys that I like. As you see in my lineup, I do invest in my lineup, and I invest on defense on the left side. That's another thing. I pitch to contact a lot of the times. I try to get weak ground balls. If you get them on the left side, they slowly hit. You need to hurry up. You need that defense. Machado's got 92 fielding. Simmons has 92 fielding. I mean, Simmons isn't much of a hitter. Machado is. Machado's got good contact. Those are the guys who are there for defense. I mean, if you see that everyone else can really hit, especially Luke Roy for his position. He's a really good contact guy. Underrated. I highly recommend him. And we get back to my starters. I really got a bunch of scrubs in there because I know they're going to go 3 innings, and by the time there's first or second at bat, you're going to get pinch hit for. And I'm going to use my bench. I pinch hit 2 or 3 times a game. So I use my bench. I know that these guys are only going to go 3 innings most of the time. Every once in a while, someone's pitching well enough, or I got a nice lead. I was like, I'll lead you in for 5 innings if you're pitching well. But I am not. I've taken a guy out after 1 inning, and I've won that game. If you're just not working for me, I know my bullpen. I know how to use my guys in my bullpen, and I think you guys can do the same. Build your bullpen on players that you know you can succeed with. Save money, sell your starters, get the budget starters, have them go a couple innings, and just go your bullpen. And if they're hitting one of your bullpen guys, you know what you do? Take them out, putting someone else that you know you can trust. Very easy. Like I said, it's cheaper, and that's kind of what strategy I use. I mean, it's worked well for me. I know it can work well for you guys if you just put the effort into building a bench and a bullpen. You may not have the sexy names in your starters, but you get those W's, which can't argue with that. So there's the video, guys. Hope you enjoyed it. Like it if you want to try this out. Comment if you have, or comment if you don't want to. You think you disagree with me. I want to know what you guys think. Tell me how you guys win. And if you guys want more tips like this, make sure you subscribe, like, and comment. So thank you guys for watching. Have a great day. See ya.